Hello, welcome to Hitchhiking Stars YouTube channel and happy full moon. It's a full moon in Cancer today, not just yet. It's about noon in Brazil now, but it will be in a few hours. So how are you all feeling? It's such a, moon in Cancer. I mean, Cancer is ruled by the moon, so there's something about a very powerful energy for the first full moon of the year. So happy 23 as well for everyone. So for the first full moon of the year to be in Cancer and to be in its own sign, to be very majestic, very powerful, very strong, and also to be reflecting strong emotions and strong reactions potentially as well. I don't know how you're all feeling. I am not particularly feeling anything that I can really put my finger on and say, hey, this is definitely a full moon in Cancer right now. I'm on sort of a descent into my menstrual cycle soon, so I'm kind of feeling more tired than anything else, feeling the need to rest and the need to be alone and to kind of like create like a kind of a cocoon. So I kind of want to enjoy this full moon in this way. But how are you feeling? Do you have anything in Cancer in your chart? How is that playing out in your life? So here we have the chart of the full moon right in front of us. And I wanted to just, look into that a little bit. I know last week I talked a little bit about the full moon, but I'd love to look at it again because it's today. It's really important, really relevant. So here we are, the 16 degrees Cancer, 60 degrees Capricorn as well. I think the tightest, well, there are a couple of aspects that are very interesting here with this full moon. One is a square to Chiron Aries. And I think what that does represent is becoming highly aware of, this transit of Chiron Aries has been going on for a couple of years already. To realize our wounds, our wounded egos, perhaps. I've seen an astrologer say that, and I really loved it. I think that's a great way of putting it. Our wounded egos, our wounded sense of self as well, the wounds in our individuality as well, the wounds in our sense of initiative and where we can be a warrior, where we can, how we do assertion as well, how we stand up for ourselves, these things are really representative of Aries. So I think the situation now with the full moon could really activate things that have something to do with that. And at the same time, the other aspect that I think is interesting is Uranus trine to the sun and sextile to the moon as well. So that seems to be a relevant aspect as well from this full moon. Is a kind of I think whatever Uranus is connected is a liberating kind of aspect. It is a trine and a sextile, so it has to do with removal of obstacles where it comes, when it comes to our inspiration, our rational inspiration, I think. So there's something about the strong emotions that the moon in Cancer can represent, but also insights. So maybe, that Uranus is making a little less emotional, unless you have something at 16 degrees Cancer in your chart and this being picked up. So there's something that's being, enhanced, heightened there very powerfully. So let me know in the comments. I'd be really curious to see how this is going on for you, how this is playing out in your life at the moment. So there are two more things that I find very interesting. One is that Mars is still retrograde, but 8 degrees is the degree that's going to, station to go direct. Do you have anything at 8 degrees Mars? I mean, I have Chiron at 8 degrees Gemini. So where is 8 degrees Gemini in your chart? So there's my Chiron, and that Mars is going to be hovering about for a while in that, on top of that principle in my chart. So something about communication and wounds around communication that will be, highlighted, or something about my work as well. I've been very busy with clients. It's been really productive in a very, very wonderful way, really. I've been feeling really inspired by the one-to-one encounters I've had lately. And there's beautiful consultations as well. It's almost like I feel that I have a kind of a special lens for using astrology to find, to brainstorm your best version according to what you're looking for and what you'd like your life to be as well. And I just really love to do that. So I think that's why I personally really don't like fear-mongering astrology, looking at difficult aspects and talking about difficulties in terms of limitations and just giving a bad verdict to somebody about who they are or what their life will look like. I just really, really like to see the best potential grounded in the person's wishes and desires and natural abilities, natural interests as well. And that's why the dialogue is so important. So I digress now. But it's been really interesting, and perhaps it's a positive of this Mars hovering on my Chiron, and to see what my one-to-one work is about. So anyhow, that Mars is something very important because it will be turning direct soon this week. So really pay attention to where that's in your chart, because there'll be resolutions about that, resolutions on like discussions and conversations and things that may have happened since that Mars went retrograde a while ago. I'll write in the comments when that was, because I'm not sure now. I can't remember. I think it was October. So since October, that Mars has been retrograde in Gemini. And the interesting thing as well is that Mars in Gemini, ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is also retrograde. So also going backwards from our perspective, and almost at the heart of the sun in this full moon. So there's something that this full moon will probably shed the light on, and that we'll be able to understand intellectually soon as well, with, you know, Mercury coming to the sun's heart, which will be, you know, between today and tomorrow as well, because I shifted today and is already there at 16 degrees. But really interesting that these two principles are interconnected, because Mars is in Gemini and Mercury rules Gemini, and they're both retrograde. And we're both, you know, with those two, we're like rethinking actions, rethinking strategies, business strategies, you know, sort of revamping, like transforming my website, getting my website more geared to who I believe is my core, you know, identity client. I really, really want to work with more highly sensitive people as well. And funny enough, you know, I think I've been attracting a lot of highly sensitive clients anyways, I think because of my nature. And I guess we get clients that have a similar vibe to us. So that's really interesting. It's already happening. But I really want to make that official. So I'm kind of reworking on all of that. And I feel that that Mars retrograde and that Mercury retrograde in Capricorn are perfect, you know, a perfect position, a perfect transit for us to be doing things like that, to be really rethinking our strategies and etc. So the other thing that I wanted to show you about this week, because that's, you know, the video is the astrology of this week. Oh, there's this beautiful trine between Venus and Mars, which will be happening on Monday, the 9th of January. So between Sunday and Monday, it could be a great time for us to rebalance our relationships, regain a little bit of balance between give and take. That could be a great time. That could be a great time to do something together, because we'll find it a bit easier to have individuality and independency and share something, share ourselves with somebody. There's something about that trine that's very nice. It's also in air signs, so it kind of facilitates communication as well. I mean, Mercury is still retrograde for something really, really important that's not something that you're revisiting, then maybe it would be great if you hold until that Mercury is moving forward. But it does makes it easier to communicate with that Mars-Venus trine. I think it's a beautiful aspect for that day. And then the other thing that I wanted to say, here we are, 12th of January, that's next Thursday. That's when Mars will be stationing to go direct. So since, you know, October, we've been having that Mars retrograde and really rethinking our individualities, our self-assertion, our actions. You know, the question I was asking a few videos ago, question to ask yourself with Mars going retrograde and visiting Mars is, are my actions supportive of the life I want to create? Or are my actions creating chaos instead? Because I'm just all over the place and just, you know, self-sabotaging. So that's a very interesting, important question to be asking ourselves for this week, and to be preparing for that Mars turning directions again on the 12th of January. And if we can do a little, you know, little ritual there for action moving forward, for Hermes, for also Aries, the god of war as well, and embrace the warrior in us, that would be great as well. You know, that would be great, honorable of us to do something like that. And I think that's where I'm gonna stay today. This is, the couple of things I wanted to say. I'm wishing you all a wonderful full moon. I hope you get great insights about your journey, about yourself, about what makes you happy in life, what brings you fulfillment, what brings you, a sense of is worth living your lives, is worth it being yourself as well. And let me know in the comments how you're feeling. How's this full moon playing out for you, and how are you feeling about Mars turning direct again? And I'll be seeing you all again next week.